Today we're going to be looking at the PowerSpec G478 gaming PC. Now remember that PowerSpec is microcenter's in-house brand of pre-built gaming PCs, and you can get this guy for $29.99. That may seem like a hefty price tag, but keep in mind, this comes with some hefty specs. It has an Intel Core i9-14900KF CPU paired with an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4080 Super. And remember that 4080 Super has 16 gigabytes of GDDR6X VRAM. All of that is also paired with 64 gigabytes of DDR5 5600 RAM and a 2 terabyte NVMe SSD. Everything is going to be housed in this Lian Li 206 mesh, so you're going to get plenty of airflow to all of your components. We have a 360 rad on this AIO that's connected to the 14900KF, so this is going to keep this very cool. And if that 2 terabyte SSD is not big enough, remember that you can buy hard drives or SSDs at your local microcenter, and our service technicians can install them for you at the time of purchase. So we're gonna take this guy for a test drive. We're gonna try a couple of games. Maybe we'll do some light editing. And we're also gonna pop this guy open and take a look at the components. So we have these little thumb screws on the back. This comes off super easy. So one thing I want to highlight is that we have this pre-installed GPU bracket to prevent any GPU sag on this 4080 Super. You definitely want to prevent GPU sag so you don't have any issues with your GPU down the line, because that sag can put pressure on that PCIe slot and that connector there. So you want to make sure that it's nice and supported. And you can see that all of your cables are nice and neat and everything's run. And you can see the cables coming out of the AIO and from the motherboard here. So this is a really clean look inside. This is an MSI Z790 MPG motherboard. So you can see it has the white design with the dragon paired with the white on the AIO and the white on the G-Skill RAM. So this looks pretty good. If you want to put an additional fan, you've got room for it here. And these are full RGB fans paired with the fans on the AIO as well. So you do get RGB on the front and on the top. And then remember, obviously the top of the case has the mesh here. So this will help keep some of the dust and hair out of your case. So you can see that the cables are running out the back here and everything's nice and neat. We have one channel with basically all of our cables, and this is the CPU power that's running to our semi-modular power supply. This is a PowerSpec 850 watt, 80 plus gold rated power supply. So this thing's pretty set, and it also has all of the extra cables that you need for any additions. So they keep that in there tucked away nice and neat. If you want to do any additional upgrades, like add some hard drives, you have the two 3.5 inch hard drive bays, or if you want to add any SSDs to the back, that's all available as well. In the PowerSpec box, you can find those SATA cables, so that'll be set for you. And then obviously, if you ever want to switch out components down the line, everything you need is already set. All right, well, I think that the build looks pretty solid. I think our guys did a really good job. So now we're gonna plug this in. I'm gonna go grab a monitor. Let's play a couple of games. So we have the Acer Predator X34V, which is a large curved gaming monitor. This is a WQHD display, meaning it's 3440 by 1440. We're gonna be pushing a lot of pixels on this guy. Also, this has 175 hertz refresh rate. So I think that the PowerSpec G478 should have no issue pushing out to a monitor like this. Frame rate's hovering in the 90s, but it's hovering about 100 frames per second. Temperatures are looking pretty good though. So we've got about 68 on the GPU, 70 on the CPU, and we're running mostly high, some ultra, but we're running this at the full resolution. DLSS is set to auto, and then we have ray tracing on. This is very smooth. Obviously, we're not pushing the full 175 on this monitor, but even at 100, because it is staying steady around 100. Let's see. Yeah, it's staying steady around here. Dips as low as about 90, but for a game like this, that's fine. I mean, this is very immersive. This widescreen's really nice. 1440 is like that sweet spot that I really like, but my 1440 monitor at home is not as wide as this. Let's go make some friends. Hello folks, can I interest you in a PowerSpec PC? Oh, they do not want a PowerSpec PC. All right, well, I'll keep driving. Frame rate and the temperature, it's all steady across the board. CPU temps holding steady about 72. GPU temps about 72 now. So just for playing the game and messing around a little bit, frame rate was good, temperature was good on both the CPU and GPU. Now we're just running the benchmark. I mean, again, I just left this set to the Ultra preset. Literally just fired this up, got the game installed, and just let it run. So I'm just want to see what it comes out as an out-of-the-box experience. And paired off with a monitor like this at 1440, 3440 by 1440, we're really pushing it, but it's keeping up just fine. There we go. Average FPS, 100.13, with minimum FPS at 89, max at 113. So all in all, not bad. That looks pretty good. Cool, let's try another game. We'll try Helldivers 2, which I know isn't as graphically intensive as CyberPunk, but it's a really fun game to play, and I really want to try it on this monitor. So let's give it a shot. All right, so we have Helldivers 2. I got this set up. Everything's set to all ultra across the board. We're running full resolution, 3440 by 1440. There is no frame rate limit. We are just cranking this guy. So in the ship, we're in the 150s, which, I mean, it's fine. This is kind of like a hub world. You're not expecting to get crazy resolution, but wow, that looks really good. Look at that. Oh, someone just failed a mission. Shame. We just popped this open. I just got these games installed, plugged the monitor right in. I'm just running the default ultra settings on everything, and it's handling it with ease. I mean, we're still pushing the 120s, which on this monitor looks great. Let's see if I can clear this out. I mean, in terms of gaming, these specs are top notch. This combination is going to last you a good long time. Yeah, I mean, GPU temps have been stable, CPU temps have been stable across the board. We had a little jump to the 90s when we dropped from the ship. I think that's just the game loading up the next map, but otherwise it's been stable in the low 70s across the board. CPU utilization, about 34%. I mean, frame rate, just steady all the way through. This is me playing Helldivers right here, and frame rate has just been steady. I mean, 110, 112. If you want to, if you really wanted to maximize your frame rate, you can tone it down a little bit. I'll just go for the high preset. Let's see where that gets us. And we already jumped up. We're in the 130s now. 139, 140, 150. Yeah, I mean, we're holding up pretty good. I just turned it down from ultra to high. So we did get an extra about 20, maybe 30 frames. And if we look at this guy, yeah, you see it jumped up. So this was kind of like our baseline in the 1-teens. Now we're up in the 130s or so. So looking pretty good. And that's just changing one preset to another. Obviously, you can go through, you can toggle different settings if you want, turn off motion blur, which I recommend. I think we have it on here a little bit. You can toggle some of the shadow settings or other settings so you can really crank that frame rate. And the 175 Hertz on this monitor, definitely going to be able to keep up. Okay, so now I have Davinci Resolve fired up, and this is my video editor of choice. I know a lot of people still use Adobe Premiere, but frankly, I have abandoned Premiere because I really love Davinci Resolve. So they have this really cool raw speed test. It's kind of a nice little benchmark that you can do. And what it does is it tests out your machine for all of the different flavors of B-RAW, which is the Blackmagic version of RAW. It's their own flavor of RAW video. But it kind of gives you a taste of what your machine can handle for video editing. You have 1080p, good across the board, 2160p, which is going to be UHD, good across the board. You can handle 8K B-RAW footage. That's very beefy. Export time is always a good one, but there's also just the good old-fashioned scrubbing test where you go on the timeline and you just take your footage and you just kind of scrub around. Does it feel snappy? Is the machine having a hard time scrubbing through the footage? This is a very simple video that I have running off of a SSD that's plugged in to the USB-C port in the back of the motherboard, but it's got all the throughput that we need, and this is a very simple edit. We shoot everything on a Sony FX3. We do XAVC, I think HS, so that's the 4K H.265 flavor that Sony offers. So H.265 is very CPU bound. It uses a lot of CPU juice to encode and decode. This is just a good benchmark. This is just kind of a good way to see like how well can this handle editing. And basically the answer is this machine can handle editing very, very well. And there's Dan Ackerman, our editor-in-chief here at Microcenter, and we have launched Microcenter News. So you can find that at microcenter.com, where you can find in-depth reviews, hands-on with products, buying guides, all kinds of fun stuff on Microcenter News, as well as all of our video content as well. So stay tuned. But in terms of content creation, the PowerSpec G478, solid. The specs are great for content creation. It's going to give you everything that you need, and it's going to handle it just fine. One thing I will say about this PC though, if you are serious about video editing, you're going to need more drive space, more SSDs, a couple of hard drives in the bottom maybe for some bulk storage, but you're definitely going to want more system space because these video files add up. One question that I get a lot is, why go with a pre-built when I can just build my own PC? And the answer is, some people really just like a straight out-of-the-box experience. As you saw, we took this guy right out the box, we set it up with this 1440p curved monitor, and we were gaming right away. And frankly, for some people, that's a lot easier than just building your PC. Obviously, I like building my own PC, but I do actually use a PowerSpec in my office, so these are great. If you get a new PowerSpec, it does come with a 1-year manufacturer's guarantee, and you can bring it into your local Microcenter for any repairs or service, and it will be serviced within 48 hours. Also, at the time of purchase, you do get a free component installation. So if you buy any hard drives, SSDs, maybe some fans, or any other component that you want us to put in here, we can put it in for free at the time of purchase. So that about wraps it up for the PowerSpec G478. Let us know in the comments below if you want us to take a look at any other PowerSpec PCs. And remember, if you don't have a Microcenter near you, comment #I want a Microcenter near me.